Hello and welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is a short recap of the craft show that Kim and I did this past weekend. So I'm going to insert some clips leading up to it and show you what it looked like once we had our booth set up. We did have a 20 by 20 foot space, so we were able to set up 2 tent canopies, and we each sold on underneath our own tents. So we shared it to split the cost between us. So the fair itself had a little over, it had about 100 to 112 vendors. We did notice a couple of empty spaces, so I think there was 112 spaces. There was a couple that weren't filled, but it was very, very well put together. The lady who was setting it up this year, it was her first year doing it, and she did a really good job. And that doesn't include, the number of vendors does not include how many people are selling like yard sale and things right from their own driveways or front yards, because that goes on too. But there was a big parade. We didn't see the parade. And they had some music there and all different types of things. So it was a pretty big event. So I'm going to insert the clips, and then when I come back, I will tell you how I made out. I'm not going to give the monetary amount, but I will let you know whether it was good or bad, whether we would go back again or not, and what seemed to be the popular items to sell. Well, there is the pile of stuff that's got to go into my car. There is the canopy, a chair, 2 tables. There's another table, yet it's over on the other side of the garage. 1 canvas bag full of items for the sale. A second one, plastic bags. The baskets back there for displaying things, including the little coffee cup. The mice are going to be in the coffee cup. And some rope so I can string it up around and hang things off of it. I have some clothespins in the basket in there. And all of that is going to hopefully fit into my car. We shall see. So far I have the 3 tables in, and I have the plastic bags and the grid thing that's going to display the teeth. Now I'm going to fit the rest of this in the back seat. Wish me luck. That actually was pretty easy. I have the canopy on the bottom and then the chair. Here's the basket, and I have my craft inventory here, and then a little apron to wear with my money in it, and some business cards. And like I said, the mice are going to hang out of this. I have some little S hooks that are going to go on that grid that I showed you, that are going to hold the little teeth that I made. And the rest of these little baskets for display. And then I have some little labels and signs down here, like how much things are and everything. So that's there. And then I have the 2 totes that are full of things that I'm selling sitting on top of each other. There's actually space that a person could sit on the other side of there if we needed to. So yeah, it all fit in much better than what I expected. So off we go. So here we are at the fair. And there's Kim. And this is Kim's side of the booth. There's her cute little owls. And her gummy worms. And this is my side. We are actually in the park. There's the gazebo, and my brother is a few rows over that direction. And there's all my little critters. So.
Look at all of them. Whoops.
And it's a pretty good turnout here. People still have their cars up because it hasn't officially started. But from what my brother said, it's a much better turnout than last year. There's the corn guy. Apparently he gives away corn on the cob. So on the whole, did we do well? Yes, we did. We sold not as well as we would have liked to, but we sold enough to pay the fee for the spot and make a profit out of it. And yeah, so we did fairly well. And I checked with a couple other, my brother was one of the other vendors, and I asked how he did, and he said they didn't do as well as the year before, but they still did a decent amount of sales. And then we had a friend at church who was helping somebody in one of the other booths, and she said that they did pretty well too. So yeah, it is something that we've already said we would do again, and we really liked the spot that we were located at because we were only like the second row away from where the center hub of activity. There's a pavilion in the middle of the park, and that's where a lot of the activities and music and things went on, and we were only like the second row in from there. And we were also the second booth away from the access point, because they have several different ways you could get into the center of the square, and we were just two booths off of that too. So as a result, we had walkways on both sides of our booth. So we actually turned, what you saw in the video, we actually changed the position. Well, I changed the position of mine because I found people weren't walking into the canopied area. They were walking along the sides. So when my daughter and son-in-law and the grandkids came over, they helped me flip the tables so that they were both facing outward, and I just sat in the middle. And that way people coming down both aisles could look on either side. So that seemed to work really well. So what sold really well and what did I sell out of? Totally randomness, to be honest. The things that sold were not what I expected to sell. I had made 4 little mice, basically because I had some leftover yarn and thought, let's play. All 4 of them, that was the first thing that sold. One lady bought all 4 of them. So I will definitely be making more mice because apparently those were some big sellers. I had some hamsters. I had 2 little brown hamsters and 3 little pink hamsters. Well, the pink hamsters didn't sell, but both of the brown ones did, and they were bought by the same person. So those sold. The other things that sold was one of the pigs, the kind of semi-big little loaf pigs. So that sold, and one of the small little pigs. It was at the end of the day, and I had been asking, I'd ask $3 for this little pig, and this little girl came up and she was holding her money and looking at it and just squeezing the little pig, and I told her, I said, I'll take $2 for it. So she made a deal. She just seemed to like it, and I was like, if it makes her day, that's fine. So we gave that to her for $2 instead of the $3. The other things that sold, the whales, which surprised me. I had some little stuffed whales, and I didn't think they would really sell. I sold out of those. I had 5 of them, and I sold all 5 of those. I sold one of my Whatsits, which were like, they look sort of like Cousin It. Somebody else said they look like the Yip Yips off of Sesame Street. But anyway, yeah, I sold one of those. And then in larger items, something that was kind of, well, it wasn't, 2 of my virus shawls, I had 3 of them there. 2 of them sold. So I will be making more virus shawls. And then something that I didn't expect to sell, it was kind of a last minute toss into there. I had made a while back, I'd used the virus shawl pattern and made like kerchiefs that tied, you know, for your hair. And I used to have them for when I had long hair. However, I made them and then I didn't wear most of them. And so I sold the ones that were sitting in my drawer that I hadn't worn. And yeah, these, I sold three of those. Three of those? No, I sold two of those. But they did seem to be popular. And actually my granddaughter walked by and she saw it and she's like, oh, I really like that. She was going to buy it from me. I was like, you're my granddaughter. You're not buying anything. And I just handed it to her. In fact, she asked me for another one too because she really liked them. So I whipped that up really quick so I could make that for her. And yeah, because she's going back to college, so I want to give that to her before she goes back. So I will be making more kerchiefs. And so all together, the things that I'm going to be restocking, everything else is going to stay the same. The next craft fair that we will be doing is in October. So at that point, I will be taking some of my winter hats and like neck cowls and things. I didn't bring those with me because nobody in August is looking for heavy hats and cowls and things like that. So I will be taking my some of my winter gear over the next two craft fairs, which will be October and the beginning of December. To see, that's when people are going to be more likely looking for things like that. And like my pumpkins, which are actually sitting right on top of that white, you can see them in that basket up there. I have some crocheted pumpkins. So I'll be taking those as well. So the things I will be remaking, like I said, I'll be making some more virus shawls because people seem to like that and they like the pattern of it. They like how lacy it is and how delicate it looks, and it also crochets up super fast. And I don't even need the pattern at this point because I've made it numerous times and I can usually finish one in a week or so. So yeah, I will be making more of those. I will be making more of the head kerchiefs, more of the hamsters, and more of the mice. So those are going to be the crochet projects that I am working on over the next 8 weeks before we have our next craft fair. Now, on another note that's totally off of the craft fair section, I have a friend, it's actually one of the viewers here, who is making a baby blanket, but the pattern does not name what this particular stitch is. And she's just wondering what the name of the stitch is. So I'm going to put a picture up right here. And I'm also going to put down what the stitch is. It's like some double crocheted with a stitch that you pick up from the row below. It kind of reminds me of a spike stitch, which I did when I made a bucket bag a couple years ago. It kind of reminds me of that, but not maybe entirely. So if you recognize that stitch, please put it down in the comments below so that that particular viewer can find that and be able to figure out what the name of the stitch is that is in that blanket. So that is it for today. Please tune in again on Saturday where I've already gotten started on some of those craft fair projects, and I will show you what I've been working on. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.